Hello everyone, welcome back to Alkaline Hydroxide 784, and today in the digital tools series we'll be looking at how to use PowerPoint. And yeah, this is just one of the other Microsoft tools that you can use, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that you all like the most out of the Microsoft tools, I guess. Maybe you might like Word better, but PowerPoint is one of the more interesting ones, I guess, because you can make PowerPoint with it. Yeah, so I realized that the last one was a bit redundant, like there's too much redundancy in the whole thing. So I'm trying to not like go through too many details of some of the boring things and instead go through the more interesting stuff that you can do in PowerPoint. So as you can see, I've employed this on-screen keyboard thing to block my name, so I don't have to do so much editing later on. Anyways, yeah, so once again we have all these tabs like the file, which is similar to that in the Word document. So in the file you can do the usual things. You can save it, you can print it, share it, do whatever you want, and you can even use other PowerPoints that you can do here. Yeah, so let's go back. Apart from file, there's a bunch of other tabs, and in each tab there's different functions that you can use. So the first one is home, which is the most basic one, and that's where you get all the usual tools that you can get. And as you can see, most of them are not like selected because I haven't selected anything. So if you want to edit something, you click it and you can do whatever you want. This is like the general text editing, similar to that in Word documents, and you can even expand and then choose more options, because in Word you can do all the subscript and superscript very easily, but here you have to click this in order to get the superscript and subscript. This will be useful if you're doing a presentation on your chemical formula, so you can click this in order to get your your superscript and subscript. Anyways, yeah, as usual, the most fun part of doing a PowerPoint would be the fonts. And yeah, there's many fonts here, and it's up to you to decide which one you want to use. I guess some fonts go better with others and some don't. So yeah. So for example, you could use Cooper Black and then you can use something else. Anyway, if I actually try to select a font, I'll take forever, so I'm just gonna say any. So just choose something random. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So what happens when you want to make more slides? Basically, you can click this new slide. If you just click it like that, you get the default title and text. And the thing is, you won't get it in this font because it is not the font that we set for the entire slide. So there are two ways to change that. You can either just edit one of these slides to the same two fonts that we just used. So just click it and then change the font. You can just copy paste this many times, which is what I do. Or you could actually change the design or the theme that you're using in the slide directly. Let me see. I'm not sure how to do that though, because I don't usually use this design thing. So the design thing allows you to choose certain. Oh yeah, I can save the current theme and then you get maybe the font and whatever colors that you're using in the PowerPoint. Okay, so back to the home. Yeah, you can add shapes here, the shapes of all kinds, and even text box right here. And if you use a certain shape many times, you can get it here. You can see it very easily. So there's even free-form lines, so you can draw whatever you want, or free-form shapes even, so you can draw, if you're very artistic, and draw something interesting. And yeah, if you join it, you'll get a shape. And with your shape, you can change the color, you can change the outline, and also there's other options for the outline as well, like the weight, how thick you want the outline to be, and there's other effects as well. So the shape effects can be quite helpful if you want your sad looking thing to look more interesting. So you can give it some 3D effects like this. It kind of looks like a water droplet now. Actually kind of looks like a water droplet. Okay. or you can give it a shadow, you can give it reflection and more options. I think the most interesting one is this, because when you put this together, like the rotation together with a bevel or something, it gives a very interesting feel to it. Like you can see the 3D-ness of it more when you rotate it. And for even more effects, you can click format shape. You can fine tune your effects even better. So for example, if you want to specifically choose a certain rotation, you can actually adjust it here. Maybe you have two different shapes that you've rotated. Maybe you want to create like a table kind of look, but they don't really align when you use the default rotation. Then you can actually adjust it using these numbers. You can just click it a little bit and then see how it moves. You can even change the perspective, and that will help you to adjust the shape accordingly. So apart from the rotation, you can also adjust the width and the height of your bevel. So if I really extend it, you can see that it becomes thicker here, and there's this weird pattern that comes on the side. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with your shapes. So if you're interested in making your own PowerPoint art, this is the way you can do it. Use some interesting shape effects and stuff. Okay. Apart from shapes, you can even edit the text. So for example, if I want to edit outline, we have the usual styles that are there, which I don't really use because they're quite cliched and a little bit cringy sometimes. Or you can just use your own colors and your own effects as well. So you can put in a certain color, you can give it an outline, which I usually don't, because why? You can give it the text effects that you usually have, which is similar to that of the shape. I think there's one extra one here, which is transform, which will allow you to make it bend and do weird things like this. So yeah, there's all these possible ways of adjusting your shades and your text. Okay, so that's for the format. Like the format tab will come for each and everything that you can click, and the options may be slightly different or pretty similar actually, because you can see the difference is that this one shows a line and then this one just shows ABC with a background. So this one will allow you to change the background as well. Okay, so yeah, that's great. Actually, another thing related to shapes, you can edit the, like if you don't want to draw the shape fully but you want to edit a previous existing shape, you can click this, you can click edit shape, you can change the shape directly or you can edit the points on the shape. So let's say instead of a rectangle I want something that looks like some Penrose thing, I don't know. Oh, this one just looks like a triangle. Okay, cool. So now this looks like one of those Penrose styles, and it's an interesting shape, and can do the usual things that you do with the shape. You can extend it and do all kinds of funny things. So that's one way to get a unusual shape. There's other ways to draw it yourself. And the third way is to use icons. So yeah, it's unlike last time, I'm actually just randomly jumping around and focusing on certain topics rather than the tab. So for example, if you want a shape that you can actually see here, for example, maybe you want this little triangle thing that with the tree curve, and it's perfectly there in this Venn diagram, but you don't want the rest of the Venn diagram. So how do you get this shape out? First off, you can see in the format tab, this will automatically open. It allows you to convert to a shape. If you do that, it will actually convert this to a group of shapes. So next thing is you can see in arrange. I can ungroup it, and this will actually separate this out from the rest. And there you go. You have your shape. You can choose to lock the aspect ratio. So if you see here, there is, if I click this, then there's this option to lock aspect ratio. Then you can maintain the exact same shape even as you, like the exact proportions of the shape even as you increase the size. So that is how you can you can get this specific shape without having to do a lot of effort, take a lot of effort to do something. Yeah, so that's great and all. Let me just delete all of this. Okay, so apart from the shape, the other thing that you can change here is the background. The usual same options, like you can change the color and stuff like that. That's what you can do with the background. And in terms of color in general, for shapes, text, or background, there's the normal solid fill, in which you can choose whatever color you want, or you can choose a gradient fill, or you can choose a texture fill, which there's a bunch of different options, or you can choose a pattern fill, which is using the solid color that you chose, but you can choose a different pattern, make it look like it was a brick wall or something like that. So you can do things like that. And if you want to keep a certain color throughout the entire presentation, you can choose a color like this and click apply to all. And you can then change individual slides. It's just that the automatic color is the one that you applied to all. So if you want this to be white, you can just let it be white and just don't click the apply to all. This will be only white slide. Everything else is orange. Yeah, so that's how it works. Yeah, so in terms of slides, I did mention earlier that when you click new slide, you get this particular slide by default with the default fonts as well. But you can choose to take other forms of slides as well. So there's a title slide, there's all these options that you can use, and you can even choose a blank slide if you have no text to add. And there's even the layout. You can change the layout of an individual slide, so you can do this and it will change the layout. But as I said earlier, since the original theme included the original font, it will actually remove the font that you put in. So please do be aware of that. So yeah, in terms of home, apart from the shapes and everything, there's just this other thing called arrange. I did show you how to use one aspect of it, which is the group function, but I need to do some other things as well. So let me just put in a bunch of new shapes. Oh my. Okay. This one can be red. Okay. So using arrange, the first thing you can do is you can move shapes front or back. So you can click bring to the front, which will bring it all the way to the front, or you can, for bringing forward, it's just bringing it forward by one step. If you likewise, if you send it to the back, it will go all the way to the back, or if you just send it backward, it will just go back one step. So that's how it works. That's how this particular bit works. You can then you can also do aligning with regards to the PowerPoint. So you can align in different areas. For example, maybe I want to align in the middle, or you can even rotate the shape, rotate right, rotate left, flip. You can do all these. And there's even a selection pane which allows you to see what's in the slide, and you can move it up and down. You can do the arrangement here directly. So that's how that works. And then if you want to group things together, you can click these two and click group, and you can ungroup them as well. Yeah, so that's how arranging works. So the other thing that's here is quick styles, and these are just the same thing that you can see in the format. So it just gives you very quick styles for your shapes. So you can use all these different styles to customize your shapes. And there's the usual shape fill, shape outline, and etc. etc. The same stuff that you can see in format. Okay, so next to the shape fill and everything is the find, replace, and select. So this is the same thing as the one in Word document. So you can find something, you can replace something, or you can select something. You can select everything. You can select. You can use the selection pane once again. Okay, so okay, back to now. Let's go to the next tab, which is insert. I already showed you some things that you can insert. So you can insert a table. You can insert pictures. I think let me first make this a blank slide. Okay, so you can insert a variety of things. You can insert a table, you can insert pictures from the computer, you can insert a screenshot. You can insert a screenshot, you can insert a photo album. I don't know how that works. I think it allows you to select certain pictures and it will then do some I don't know, animation and stuff on it. So I don't use this. You can insert the usual shapes. You can insert the icons, which is what I showed you just now. You can insert 3D models, which is similar to inserting icons. You can search for anything you want and then insert them. But yeah, let me demonstrate one of the 3D models. So let's say I decide to insert this particular, shape, and it's a cuboid, and as you can see, it came in like this. And actually, this thing is inside the video editor as well, and that's what I was putting there on top of my name to cover it up. But that was very troublesome, so I didn't like doing that. So you can see you can rotate this any way you want, or you can choose the pre-selected rotation options as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of freedom in what you want to do here. And this can also be aligned. You can once again pan and zoom and do all the stuff here. You can zoom in and out like this, or you can pan in and out this way as well. So you can do all kinds of things with it. You can even change the size of the thing. You can do all sorts of stuff. The only thing you cannot do here is to change the color of it, because if you do that, it only changes the background of the shape, not the actual shape color. So yeah, you can even reset it and it will go back to what it was originally if you realize that you don't like whatever you did. So apart from 3D models, you can insert smart art, which is pretty similar to what you can see in Word. So you can insert some sort of smart art, and then once again, you can actually isolate the shapes from the smart art, but you don't need to ungroup it or anything. You just need to copy and then paste the shape separately, and yeah, it will become a separate shape. You can edit it like any other shape. So apart from smart art, you can include a chart, which will open up a separate Excel sheet for you to fill in stuff into it. So I don't really want to open one. And there's also some add-ins and stuff. You can even give a slide zoom, which will allow you to zoom in one of the slides. So maybe let's say I want to zoom in into this slide. So this will allow you to. So let's say if I'm presenting this, I can then click this and to zoom into the slide. Wow, this is so cool. Okay, cool stuff. So it actually go back to the slide, which is pretty cool. There's also comments, with the usual thing that you can comment on someone else's stuff. The text box, there's even a header and a footer. I don't know why you want to do that on a slide. I guess you can put page numbers. There's word art, the usual cringy stuff. There's the date and time. The date and time. You can put the date and time. You can even put the slide number, and you can put an object. What is that? Yeah, you can put stuff inside. So you can put an icon that will link to another Word document or something, for example. Okay, so the thing here is an equation. You can even include equations, which is very similar to that in Word documents. So you get to use Cambria, Mat, and you can select your own. If you just click this, then you can do whatever you want with your equation. You have all the options of symbols and things like that to select. Okay, so apart from equation, you can include a symbol, which is this. Or you can even include some media, which is video, audio, or screen recording. You can even include a screen recording directly. Yeah, so for everything there will be a format tab, and for some of them there's also a design tab. Like for example, equation has a design tab. So you can then go inside and you can even ink the equation directly. So I can say, so if I just randomly write something, it will try to interpret it unsuccessfully. So you can write it down and it'll try to interpret it into whatever symbols it can find. Alright, so the next tab is design, and I don't care about this tab because I don't use it all that much. But if you like using themes in your PowerPoint, you can select one here. You need to just give a consistent theme and a consistent set of colors to use. There's also other options next to it, which I'm not gonna cover. Okay, so the next one is, the fun stuff, animations and transitions. I don't really use the transition one because I just use a lot of animations. But you can do a lot of things with your PowerPoint slide apparently. So, whoa, it can morph the slide. That is cool. I'm not sure what that does. Let me see what it does. Okay, I don't know what that did. Okay, so you can actually morph things and you can change the animation, you can do all kinds of funny things. Yeah, so you get the idea. I'll set it to none because I don't really need that. And the one that's underneath the keyboard is apparently sound. So you can include a sound along with your transition as well, and include the timing and do all this stuff. So likewise for animation, you can do this. I'm gonna Okay, so I opened up the animation pane, which will help me a bit here. So it'll show me the options that were here as well. So I can first add an animation. This is the very first one, so you can just click anything you want. And if you want to add further animation, if you forget, like, you must actually click this if you want to add a new one, because otherwise it'll just replace whatever was already there. So let's say I wanted to pause after that. So if I were to just simply click the next one without doing anything, it would replace the pause with this other animation. But if I click add animation, it will actually add it. So for each animation, you can see it here. You can the timing is actually the thing that's underneath the keyboard. So I don't want to, open it up again and reveal stuff. So I can change the delay based on, or I can even put it with previous or after previous and things like that. So let's say if there's one animation before it, you can make it go with that one, or and things like that. So you can change that. You can even change the duration. You can make it go really slow, or you can go really fast, and you can do all kinds of things. Or you can even make it as part of a click sequence in a sense. So there's a lot of options here actually. So like if you didn't use animations in PowerPoint all that much, this is a good opportunity to figure out how to do it, and you can do a lot of fun things with it. So yeah, so all the options and everything can be easily found just by doing a right click and then clicking it. Yeah, that's how animations work. So you can even click the preview button and it will preview the animation for you, or you can just click play from here or something like that. And yeah, that's how it works. So the next tab is slideshow. I'll be closing this pane. Slideshow is just the presentation part of it. So what you can do is you can maybe click it to present from the beginning slide, which will be this slide, the first slide, or you can present from whatever slide you want. You can click from current slide. There's even an online option, and there's a custom slideshow, which will say that it will only show certain slides, so it won't show everything. You can even set up a slideshow. You can do all kinds of stuff. But the most useful thing here is recording a slideshow. So what you can do with this is you can use this to record the slideshow. So for example, if I click record from current slide, it will go to this form here, and there's a bunch of different options here. There's a bunch of the one that's important is whether you can clear the timings. You can even look at the notes here. You can turn your microphone on if you want. But the thing here is you must be very careful when using it, because the voice cuts off when you change slides. So if you're using this to create a video and you want to include the audio, like, into the video, you should either record the audio separately, or if you want to record it with the PowerPoint, you should be careful not to talk while changing the slides. Yeah, so that's the caveat here. There's also pen and highlighter to do whatever you want. This is the record button to record, and then as once you start recording, you can just go to next slide, next slide, next slide, and you can do all that stuff. So yeah, if you recorded it and you don't like it, you can click clear and then clear either the timing on one slide or the timing on all of these slides. And once you're done, you can just go to your file and then save as PowerPoint. You can either save it as a PowerPoint show, or you can save it as a MP4 video. So it depends on you. There's a bunch of options to save it. So next tab is review, and I don't think people really use this that much. I guess if you want, you can check your spelling here. If there's anything weird spelling, you can check it. You can check accessibility. You can translate and can get other language here, and the comments and stuff like that. So you can do a bunch of things here. You can even compare it with something else. The next tab is the view tab. So even in the presentation mode, there is a presenter mode and a normal mode. So let me just quickly show you that. So in this mode, you can see the full slide, right? So if I click presenter view, it will allow you to see this slide. It will see the next slide and also see whatever notes you have, and allow you to annotate, do all these things here. You can see you can have a lot of different options here. So if I end the show, and then I can show you the usual views that you can have. So you can look at the normal view. This is the normal view, outline view. So you can see what slides there are and what's written on each slide. You can see the slide sorter, in which you can see the full slides as well. You can see the notes page, which includes all the notes that you added. You can see the reading view. You go back to normal. And yeah, so there's all these, views. You can see the slide master. Fine, it didn't work. I have no idea what that was. So there's this master style thing. Even I haven't seen all of the features here in PowerPoint. There's just so many weird things like that. Okay, so there's notes. You can see guides and grid lines and stuff like that if you want. Yeah, I don't really need this. You can even look at the color. You can see, if let's say if you were to print it in a certain color, what would it look like? So you can actually see that. And you can also create new windows. You can split the window. You can do all kinds of things. And yeah, you get the idea. And the final tab is the help tab, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, you can if you're stuck and you want to do something, you can search it here and see if you can get the function that you need. If it isn't there, then just invent it. Figure out another way to do it. Yeah. Right, so I hope you found this video useful, because so yeah, so thanks for watching. All right. So if you found this video useful, please press the like button and subscribe. Right, so thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, please press the like button and subscribe. And with that, I would like to say thank you and bye.